Covington, Kentucky, celebrating 200 years. A rich, diverse history where art meets architecture, from Duvenek's paintings to the Ascent, where industry and innovation thrive. A civic pride that looks toward the future while remembering the past.
Covington is extremely important in history, and when we're talking about the Civil War, Covington was, in effect, very important in Ulysses S. Grant's life. His family, particularly his mother and father, lived in Covington.
Covington was very important in terms of art and architecture and literature, science, invention, and industry, not only in the region, but nationally as well.
Historian Paul Tencott is a fifth-generation Covington native who's the force behind the Encyclopedia of Northern Kentucky and Histories of Fort Mitchell and St. Elizabeth Hospital.
Covington was a gateway city.
Founded in 1815, Covington was named for General Leonard Covington, a hero of the War of 1812. Over the next 50 years, the river town would become a major city.
Many settlers disembarked at Covington and set up their own lives here.
As a gateway city, Covington attracted some of America's best and brightest, and it produced many notables, from Governor Goebel to John White Stevenson and Speaker of the House and Treasury Secretary John G. Carlisle. Sports stars like Hank Gastright and Tom Thacker, actress Una Merkel, and the man who gave us a holiday classic, Haven Gillespie.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Before he designed the Brooklyn Bridge, John Roebling brought his vision to Covington for what was the longest suspension bridge in the world when it opened in 1867. Breweries were big business, and during Prohibition, some big names were spotted in the speakeasies here. The Stewart Iron Works didn't just create fences that still beautify the city, they built the bars that would make up Alcatraz Prison. Today, Covington is home to corporations like Ashland and Fidelity, Corporex and Tier 1, and St. Elizabeth Healthcare has just built a brand new facility.
And we also have seen on the riverfront a great development, a revival. I like to think that Covington has linked itself to its business history of the past, as well as to its artistic history. We have things like the mural project on the riverfront. We have Baker Hunt. We have the redevelopment and really magnificent growth of the Barringer Crawford Museum.
We have been so fortunate to have a 600-acre park, Devou Park, with a beautiful, recently constructed Dries Pavilion. Those are exciting things to share, as well as the new Licking River Greenway. The idea that we will have paths for people to walk and to bicycle and to enjoy themselves, places to do that, even in the urban core itself, makes us aware of how much we owe our very existence to these early rivers. Covington's historic preservation efforts go all the way back to the 1960s, when the residents of Riverside Drive decided that they wanted to protect themselves from demolition for apartment buildings. And that rich tradition of historic preservation has continued through the 70s and 80s all the way up to the present.
The bicentennial will really enhance Covington and its built environment, because our built environment tells the story of Covington. It's what we connect with the people that lived here 200 years ago. It's the same buildings, the same architecture that they lived in and that they walk the streets on, and we can sit there and literally walk the same streets and look at the same buildings that they did.
Schools like Covington Latin and Gateway Community College have expanded their campuses, and the Kenton County Public Library will feature state-of-the-art facilities for the study of Covington's history. Trouble is, if you go looking for a comprehensive history of Covington, you won't find it.
Covington has never had a definitive history, and it deserves one now. The wonderful thing about the Covington Bicentennial Project is it includes 5 projects. Number 1, it includes the city's first comprehensive history, at least a 256-page hardback landscape, fully illustrated and color illustrated book of the city that everyone will enjoy. Secondly, we're going to have a 60-minute documentary of the city that will be available for purchase as well. This is so exciting. You'll be able to share and enjoy with your family and friends the history of Covington and to see it in a format that will excite and enliven our own sense of history. Third, there will be very innovative QR-coded tours of the city, which literally is very cutting edge. Very few cities have anything like this. You'll be able to take your iPhones, your iPads, put them up to signs with QR codes in the city, and literally take tours of Covington's fascinating and historic neighborhood. Whether they be Austenburg or Latonia or Mainstrasse or downtown or Licking Riverside, all of the great neighborhoods will be represented. And these tours will feature a complete website which will take you to exciting videos, video clips, even lead you to wonderful things like coupons at area businesses and restaurants. So this will be a great spur, a great incentive for tourism in the area. Fourth, we will have an exhibit, and that exhibit will travel during the bicentennial year and eventually will find a permanent home at the Barringer Crawford Museum. And the fifth project will be a K-12 complete program, which will include booklets that are written with age-appropriate language for children in K-12 grades. We will also have short documentaries available for them, specifically with age-appropriate, again, language. We will have tours available for students, bus tours to wonderful places, perhaps like Baker Hunt and the Carnegie and the Barringer Crawford Museum. And certainly, last but not least, teacher workshops so that the teachers can learn more about Covington's rich history and share it with their students.
From German, Irish, Italian, and other immigrants of the 19th and early 20th century to African Americans and Appalachians and Hispanics of today.
We have a rich community here in Covington to celebrate.
With a bicentennial plan that's gaining momentum and even the support of a tough audience, teenagers.
No one really knows the history of Covington.
I think it'd be pretty cool to use your smartphone to take a tour.
There will probably be a wide variety of people there just wanting to tell their stories.
I think it'd be cool to learn what really happened a long time ago and how it got started.
Just being happy and putting a smile on their face and celebrating Covington.